We're taking you from the hottest part of the day. We're watching those clouds really pushing from the north. This storm really developed very quickly, and then because it's a lot hotter and we're seeing a lot of those surface winds from the south really push those clouds off and allow them to evaporate, making them more westerly as they push into our region. Right now, we're looking at those conditions across the Concho Valley. Everybody hanging out in those mid-90s, making their way down as we continue this warm cool down. But it's about on par where we've seen in the past couple of days. But even last week, we'd be sitting somewhere in the upper 80s. So definitely a little slower of a cool down as we make our way, seeing a lot of that cloud cover push in. Seeing it really cool down Sterling City. That's actually a lot cooler than it is here in San Angelo, which is a little bit of a flip-flop, letting you know the storms really kind of trying to cool things off, really priming the atmosphere for some upper level of disturbance that could push its way into our area by early next week, which we do have our eyes peeled out for any of those cooler temperatures. Right now, the nation's looking very zonal flow with the upper level pattern. We're seeing where the heat dome really is kind of suppressed right now, while seeing a lot of those explosive storms really target Kansas mostly, and seeing a lot of that low pressure system dissipate off the east coast. But we are watching a lot of that strong development. We're going to watch as this storm off the west coast, which could turn into tropical storm, if not Hurricane Eugene, as soon as it becomes post-tropical or weakens, by the time it gets to off the west coast right there near San Diego, we could watch it get sucked up into the heat dome, and it's going to push a lot more moisture into a very unstable atmosphere in the first place. Not going to take a lot to see a lot of those storms, so something as a result like that, somewhere where we're looking at the severe weather outlook tonight, could be a lot more severe and large in nature, because that's a lot of moisture real quick. Right now, when we take a look at the storms developing, we're seeing that those tornado warnings and watches have really expired. But look at the circulation behind this storm, as it was two other separate storms. You can see one catching up to the other, and they're starting to turn themselves into a bigger storm while we're watching a lot of these storms push across Alabama all day as well, across the Concho Valley. Really watching that storm push from the north again. That's the second round of storms as we're watching the one dissipate over us. And then, of course, as we see that easterly flow really push that storm to the west as it makes its way to the Concho Valley, letting us know when we're saying, hey, winds ahead of a front are going to primarily stay out of the south, while winds behind a front are going to, or post-frontal, are going to be from the northwest. So you're seeing a perfect alignment right now of those frontal systems, even though it's not technically there as it pushes its way into our region tonight. Going to watch a lot of those clouds clear out by morning, and then we're watching as those circulations by about Monday morning, real early, you could see the first round of storms really try along that same path, and then again by Monday afternoon, we're going to see how that round push through. Tuesday morning, another shot. But look at the size of that storm pushing along the Oklahoma-Texas border. Massive storms as they continue to push their way through our area. So tonight we're going to be dropping down into those upper 70s, again hanging on to some of that humidity. Clouds pushing out by the morning, running again at that triple digit, pushing day 27 of the heat dome. Could be pushing into day 30 as we wrap up this very hot weekend, making our way into that second week of August, where those temperatures are really going to kind of stay steady at that 108 and upper 70 to 80 degree mark, and that'll take us into that second week of August, where we could see that decreasing humidity potentially make its way into our region. Stay tuned, we'll have more after the break. You're watching KSAN Weekend News at 10.